Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Gisselle with For the Punks. If you haven't checked us out yet, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, we're a music and arts publication for fans and creators to connect and grow with each other. And today we're with Daena. Daena, if you want to start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your music.
Yeah, so also thank you for having me. I'm super pumped to be here. So I'm Daena. I live in Nashville and I make like indie pop, synth pop, rock music.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in music.
Yeah, so I mean, I started writing songs when I was like 14 years old, and it started out, I like wrote a song about the Jonas Brothers, and it all began there. But eventually I moved on to other topics. And yeah, I moved to Nashville in 2013. And since then, I've kind of like, just been discovering who I am as an artist, who I want to, what I want to sound like, what I want my music to be and sound like. And yeah, so I launched my artist project in 2018 after I graduated college here. And now I'm just kind of exploring who I want to be as an artist. And it's been super fun.
Do you remember what the Jonas Brothers song was about? Can I ask?
Oh, yes. It was so it was for a contest. Like this is what spurred my songwriting journey was me wanting to win like an autographed cell phone by the Jonas Brothers. And it was in like Bop magazine and they gave you like a list of keywords to use in the song. So it was terrible because it was like the word would be like scarf and I had to like work that into the song somehow.
Oh,
So yeah, it was just an ode to the Jonas Brothers, and that's what started it all.
did you end up winning the cell phone?
I did not.
Oh my God, you were robbed.
Robbed, I know.
How would you describe your music? Because I kind of have an idea, but I want you to describe it before I let you know.
Yeah, so I usually say that I make indie pop music, but over the past year, so this is not released yet, but like in my writing, I'm kind of leaning more like pop rock. I'm really influenced by bands like the Aces, who I feel like have a great blend of like guitar driven stuff mixed with like pop melodies and stuff like that. So I think my sound is always, constantly changing. I have a lot of synths in there, so synth pop. I feel like my newest single is kind of like a dream pop thing. So I don't know. I feel like I'm always kind of shifting and just exploring like what I'm feeling in the moment.
Okay, we will get to your latest single because I'm so excited to talk about it. If you couldn't tell
Yay!
from the emails, but I get like nostalgic listening to your music,
Yes.
especially your song "Overrated" on your
Yes.
Electric EP. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it where it's like I feel like I've heard it before, or I've like it reminds me of something that I can't like pinpoint.
I love that so much. And I feel like, especially, that's released already, I've been very inspired by like 90s and 80s stuff. And then, like, the recent ones, kind of like early 2000s. And it's not anything specific. Like, it's not even one of those decades. It's like kind of a blend of them all. So I love that you say it just makes you nostalgic for like something,
Yeah,
because that's kind of what we tried to do.
yeah. Okay, so this single. Okay, if somebody's checking out this video and you haven't heard Dana's latest single, it's a cover of the Click Five's 2005 song "Just the Girl," which is great, by the way. It is
Thank
so
you so
good.
much.
But I have to ask, just because I'm a fan of the song, but I feel like it's not a common song.
No.
So why that song?
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I started releasing music under Daena, and so I started doing more like live shows to promote the music and stuff. And we added some covers to the set. And at one point, I was covering Stacy's Mom, and I was like, "This is so fun."
Yeah.
But I just feel like everyone covers that song, and I was like, "What's like another one that we could do that's the same kind of vibe, but like not everyone under the sun covers it?" And I grew up loving Just the Girl. Like I was obsessed with it and I was like this would be so fun. and I looked it up on like Spotify, and actually nobody's ever officially covered it before. And
Really?
I was like, wait. Like, I think this is a sign that I need to do this. And so I just decided I love the song. I think I could do like a cool queer spin on it. And so we did.
No, and you definitely did it justice. I mean, like the original version of the song is like you kind of want to like dance around to it, kind of bang your head to it.
Mhm.
And this one is kind of like so like soft, and you're like, I want to slow dance with somebody at like
Yeah.
prom.
Yes. Oh
That's
my God.
exactly the feeling I get.
I love that so much. Yeah, and I mean, originally we almost decided to do it, it's more similar to the original, and I was like, oh, this would be so fun, like paying homage to my like pop punk, love. But then I was like, you know what? I think if we're gonna do a cover song, like an official release of a cover song, I think I have to make it my own in some way. And I'm glad that we chose that route.
Yeah, and you're right. Like it's definitely in the realm of like Stacy's mom. Um, what's that song? Bowling for Soup.
1985.
1985. Yes,
Yes.
it's in that realm.
All classics.
Yes. Who or what inspires you to create music?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I mean, I have to call out my girl Taylor Swift because she was like one of my biggest inspirations growing up in music. Just her songwriting and her artistry and just her in general. I was super inspired. I think that was like one of the earliest influences I had to like, oh, I think I want to make music. You know what I mean? But in terms of just like my sound and stuff like that, other early songwriting influences were Sarah Bareilles and Ingrid Michaelson. So I think like those singer-songwriter roots are still in me for sure. And then as my tastes kind of developed, sonically, I have other influences like the Aces and Muna. I love them. Jack Antonoff. There's tons, but yeah, so across the board, lots of different influences.
And I have to ask, just as also a Taylor Swift fan, what's your favorite song?
Ooh, that is so hard. I think, honestly, I think 15, it's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I love it. And then like hearing, her version that she put out this year, hearing the growth, it just made the song even more impactful to me. So yeah, I love that one.
Such a good song.
I'm definitely like an early Swiftie, but
Oh,
I like
yeah.
new stuff too.
I'm like early mid.
Yes.
Yeah. Like All Too Well is my jam.
As it should be.
I know it's such a, oh my God, it makes me cry, but it's such a good song.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, her songwriting has honestly always been on point.
Yeah, definitely. You kind of touched when we were talking about your release of Just the Girl, and I've also like looked at your website and your bio and Instagram that you're a proud queer woman. How do you think that like translate into your music? I mean, especially with like Just the Girl, where you're using the same pronouns as like in the song.
Yeah, I mean, even before I realized that I was queer, I like never wanted to change the pronouns. I was like, this is so stupid. Just like, this is the song, sing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, on that level, but also I think like I was really excited to do that and specifically have this be like a queer song because I think queer listeners deserve to have their story told as much as anyone else. And just to hear that and be able to put themselves in the song, I think is so powerful,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm starting to think about it. Yeah, because I feel like when people do covers, we kind of like want to change the pronouns. And like that also kind of makes it kind of weird because as you said, like just sing the song.
Right, exactly. I think and then it gives it it's a new story to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's like from a different perspective almost.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so going into the pandemic, because that's been like a big thing with like musicians and and just people who perform overall.
Mhm.
And something that people seem to miss a lot is performing. And you've recently started performing again?
I have.
How
I'm
has that been?
slowly dipping my toes in the water. But I've done a bunch of outdoor shows, which has been really fun, honestly. So actually, so I put the song out on Thursday, and then Saturday I had like this outdoor festival type thing, and it was super fun and chill. And then yesterday I played the Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville, which is one of my favorite venues. And it was like my first indoor show since the pandemic started. It was a little weird, but it was so fun. So I think it's just step by step, we're getting back to it and, safely, as safe as we can be. But it's been hard. It's been hard. I know, I've done a couple live stream stuff and it's fun, but there's just something about like connecting with people in the room. It's just, you miss it.
Yeah. How have the live streams been? Because a couple of like popular artists too, and like everybody's just kind of doing like live streams now. How's
Mhm.
that been?
Yeah, I mean, it really is fun, and I think it's something that's going to stick around even after the pandemic because it's just so easy and you can just kind of like I feel like playing a show tonight. Let me just go live on TikTok, which is like also something that I wasn't on before the pandemic because I'm old. So yeah,
You're
it's
not
actually been
old.
really
You
fun.
can't be.
It can't be.
No. Um, what is something you or what feeling or what emotion do you want people to take away from your music?
Hmm. I want them to feel all the things, like everything. Because I think that's something that, is part of my personality anyway. I just feel emotions very strongly, no matter if they're positive or negative. And I just want to evoke some kind of feeling in someone when they hear my music, whether it's, they're dancing at 2 a.m. in their kitchen to Overrated, or, they're kind of like, just like having a cozy night with candles, laying on the ground, listening to Just the Girl. I just want people to feel things as much as I do.
Yeah. I mean, music is definitely like therapeutic. So I feel like any of those emotions is a good emotion.
Yes,
It
100%. It's like
releases something.
it's like a release no matter what, honestly.
Yeah. Um, and just because I always like to know and I always like to ask during my interviews, is there an artist or band you like want to collaborate with?
Oh my God, there's so many. Um, I mean, Taylor Swift is definitely up there. Muna would be up there. And then also like imagine Carole King or Joni Mitchell collabing with me. That would be a dream come
God.
true. Bruce Springsteen. There's the list will go on and on.
Oh my God. I could definitely imagine Moon or Taylor Swift.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Um, what's next? Because you've put out an EP, you've put out singles. Where's the album?
Yes. Well, that's kind of my next plan. I think, I think it's the next step for me that makes sense. So I'm hoping that 2022 is going to be like a big year for music for me. I've, written all of these songs through the pandemic, especially like in quarantine, like lockdown in the beginning. There was nothing else to do but write. And so I wrote a lot. And now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to record these. And hopefully we'll be releasing a lot of music in 2022. Yeah.
I want to ask about that too. What was the writing process like during the pandemic? Because, like, as you said, there's a lot of like free time, but there's
Mhm.
also a lot going on in the world. So, like,
Yes.
what were the emotions like during the
Yeah.
writing process?
It was a lot. I mean, so at first, I think everyone just kept waiting for it to end in like a couple weeks. So I actually didn't write at all for like probably 2 months, at least not with anyone else. Like I would maybe, go to my guitar and mess around, but I wouldn't, I don't think I wrote like a full song for 2 months. And that's probably the longest I've gone in a long time without writing anything because there's so much pressure in like the music industry to just go, 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 have three writes a week and network and blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of nice to have that break. And then when I got back to it, we all kind of were like, oh, this is going to keep going. So, let's make it work. Let's get on Zoom, right over Zoom, FaceTime. And at first I resisted it. I was like, it's not going to be the same, which it wasn't. But I actually wound up getting a lot of really good songs written over Zoom. Like my single before Just the Girl, which was Heart Heat, that was written over Zoom with one of my friends and someone else who both of us had never even met before. So, like, it is possible. And again, I think that's something that's going to stick around. Like, I got to write with people in LA that I wouldn't have written with otherwise, and hopefully, have made those connections, and we can keep writing on Zoom. So I think it actually wound up being a good thing that, like, thank God we had the internet to, carry us through that. So yeah.
That's really cool. And like cool how you got to like connect with people because you said you're originally from Tennessee, Nashville, right?
So I'm originally from New Jersey, but I've been in Nashville for 8 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
but still the same way that you got to like connect with people from LA and
Mm-hmm.
that's so cool. I couldn't imagine writing a song through Zoom.
It's weird. It's really weird. You can't really like play at the same time, or like the delay gets weird. But
Yeah,
we made it work. We made it work.
that's good. And I mean, it shows off because your music is really good.
Thank you
If
so
anybody
much.
hasn't checked it out yet, definitely should. It's so good.
Thank you.
Um, those were all my questions.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for speaking with us.
This is
Um,
awesome.
it's truly fun to interview artists. If there's anywhere that you want to like plug your social media, where people can find your music.
Yeah. So I'm on basically all social media platforms at Daena Music, Daena Music. And then, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you stream, just look up Daena and I will pop up.
Okay. Thank you so much again for sitting with us and chatting with us, Daena. It
Of
is really a
course.
pleasure.
This has been so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.